Hello and good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all on this webinar this evening. Today, we're going to go through Shure's portfolio of MOTIV series microphones and interfaces. These are USB recording interfaces that can be used in iOS. They are also compatible with Mac and Windows. So here we go. Firstly, a small look at the attendee view screen. So to your right, there are a couple of options. Firstly, if you want to ask a question, we will also run some polls during the presentation, and you're welcome to answer those polls. With me today is Mr. Barry Kasab. Barry is Market Development Manager for MCA from the Shure Middle East and Africa area. And with me is also Devraj Panikar, and Devraj is moderating the session. So we're going to break this webinar up into two parts. The first bit, we're going to go through some slides and just take a look at the products, their salient features, etc. And Barry, after that, is going to be taking you through what the products actually sound like. So stand by for that. The presentation's not too long, so we should be into the demo stage in the next like 15, 20 minutes at the most. So here we have the Shure MOTIV family. Consists of the following mentioned products: the MV5, the MV51, the MV88, MV88 Plus, MVI, and the MVL. We'll have a quick look at all these products and some of the salient features of them. First, we have the MV5. Now, this is primarily meant for musicians, vocalists. It has a very, very good quality audio capture, and it can sit on up on your desk. So it's great for conferencing, web conferencing, podcasts, as we're kind of doing today. It's compatible with smartphones. It's compatible with PC, and so Windows and Mac. Basically, once you connect it into your computer, it shows up like as a sound card, similar to any other interface that you'd use, and you can bring it into whatever software you're using. And as you'll see from the back panel, it's also got a little headphone output, and that headphone output is basically used for monitoring. For these devices, you do not require any kinds of drivers. So they're all class A compatible. So basically, it's all devices that you can plug straight into your, your machine or your phone or whatnot, and you don't require any drivers. So basically, just plug in the USB, and you're good to go. So yeah, 3.5 mm headphone jack, seamless integration with most AV applications. It's a very quick plug-and-play setup. Basically, USB cable, plug into the device, headphone, plug into the headphone jack, and you're good to go. Now it has some built-in DSP, which comprises of a limiter, a compressor, and an equalizer. And these are basically beneficial, especially if you're, for voice, maybe it's, to just control the loudness of the voice, just to get a very consistent sound when you're doing your webinars or when you're doing your meetings, etc. So you don't have variations in the loudness. And it comes more into effect when you say, for example, have say if you're recording like a guitar, or you're recording like a flute, or anything like that, or maybe a guitar along with a voice for like a Instagram live stream, or something like that. Next, we have a look at few of the mounting options. So it comes with a standard threading, which you can mount on various devices. So you can mount it on third-party T-stands, third-party tabletop stands, or like this kind of stand that we have here. So similar to if you're into podcasting, then you can get that typical podcast kind of stand where the mic can come really close to you. And as we all know, like as the mic gets closer to you, the sound quality is much better. The rejection of noise and ambient noise a little less, because you can run the mic a little softer gain wise. So this kind of a stand is another option. Next, we're going to have a look at this microphone. This is the MV51. So it's a high quality audio microphone, large diaphragm condenser types, and basically used to capture pristine quality of instruments and vocals. And later when we get into the demos, Barry will be checking both a little bit with his voice, but he'll also be playing a couple of instruments so that you can hear how the instruments also translate coming through the microphone. Again, you don't require any drivers. It has a built-in 3.5 mm headphone output, so you can monitor basically what you're doing. Seamless integration with most AV applications, quick setup, plug and play, similar like the previous model, just plug in your cable and you're good to go. And again, some built-in DSP, like a limiter, compressor, and an equalizer. Now, I want to touch up a few points as to why the DSP, especially the equalizer and the compressor, are very important. Consider yourself, and as we've seen some of the later models, but specifically when I know a lot of guys record, live concerts, maybe just from the phone, or if you're an audio engineer, just from the console, etc. And very often either your phone mic is distorting, or the phone is picking up too much bass, or it's too sharp, etc. So you now have the alternative of actually capturing your audio, but you also have the option of EQing it and processing it slightly just before it is recorded. So that's where this DSP feature also comes into very handy. Think of it also if you're in an outdoor venue and it's very breezy, for example. That's where also the high pass will come in. And later when we get into demos, I'm using one of these MOTIV mics right now to speak to you. I'll actually show you the effect of the high pass filter and the compressor and the EQ, and how it can actually enhance what the vocal sounds like coming through the system. Some other features for the MV51. Again, it has a flexible mounting options with its standard microphone threading, and it has a durable touch front panel. Now this, again, Barry will show you a little later. So as you notice on the device, there's a front panel, and let me just get my pointer on. So this part of the panel is all touch, and you have like various modes in which you can run the DSP, various modes you can run the monitoring, and gain for all of that is all on the front panel. So basically very nice self-contained kind of high quality microphone for your various applications. Next, we're going to have a look at the MV88 Plus. The MV88 Plus is actually what I am speaking on right now. So it comes with a tripod, it comes with a phone clamp, and it comes with a little microphone bracket. And that microphone at the top is a high quality stereo microphone. It's got markings of left and right on it. So when you get into the DSP of this guy, you'll actually see that you can run either in stereo, you can control the stereo width, you can run it in mono, you can run it as a bidirectional mic. So in case you're doing a chat to people across a table, very often it's either you have to use two mics for something like that. In this case, you can just use this guy, set it to bidirectional, and then you can capture audio from both sides very clearly. Also comes with a little carrying pouch and a couple of cables, so separate cable for guys using iOS and a separate cable for the Android. So again, wide range of applications, smartphones, PCs, Mac compatibility, no drivers, 3.5 mm headphone jack for monitoring, quick setup, plug and play, and built-in DSP. These are some of the features basically that are shared with all the items. This is what the app looks like. Later on, I'll go live. I'll share my screen from the phone onto the app, and we will actually take a look at the app at work. But this is kind of what it looks like. So over here, you can see we are in stereo mode. I have control over the width, the stereo width, which is great because at full width, you can actually pick up. Say if you're recording a live concert, you put this maybe from a console, you can put this dead center, keep the width maximum, and you can actually get a nice stereo spread into the recording. And say as opposite to that, if you're using it to capture just a single voice, you can actually collapse that speaker, collapse the spread, so you capture more of the voice and less of the ambience around it. And these again are the various DSP modes similar to how we saw on the MV51. So this is now all controllable via software. This is the gain. These are the DSP modes. These are the various polar patterns. You can even go up to a mid-side configuration, which again would be excellent for recording instruments. For those of you who are not, I'll just make you all aware of what mid-side is. So mid-side is a format where in stereo you have, or let's take it back to mono. Mono is a single signal. Stereo is two, left and right. And mid-side actually decodes the signal as in whatever's coming down the center and whatever's coming down the sides. So actually when I switch to MS mode later on, I'll actually tap the microphone and you'll actually see that it's in MS. So if I tap in the center, you'll get the mid giving you volume. And if I tap on the side of the microphone, you'll get the side giving you volume. So comes into, it's a very, very handy tool to have, especially things like acoustic guitar, room mics. If you want to use it to just capture a live drum set, put it into mid-side, and I assure you it will be outstanding. Yep. So you have DSP control over the various polar patterns. You can go cardioid, bidirectional, XY with the width control, and mid-side. Yeah, also great for like ambience recordings. Okay, next we're going to have a look at the Shure MVI. Now this is a tiny little interface, and you guys won't believe how tiny it is actually. And it has it comes with a little combi jack, so you can plug in an XLR, or you can plug in a TRS cable, and similar USB control to either to the phone or to your laptops. Excuse me. Again, a wide range of applications, and the most of this literature here is the same. It shares similar features. The one addition is that because it has the XLR connector, it also supports phantom power, so that you can use like a condenser microphone going into it, and you can power that microphone with phantom power. Why this guy is so special is because if you know some of our catalog of microphones, like the mics which require you to add a lot of gain, so some of our ribbons or some of our like the SM7B, for example, most standard 2-channel sound cards that you buy from the market, they don't have enough juice to actually drive those microphones, and that's actually very easy with this MVI. There's tons of gain in this preamp. Again, some key features of that: very durable front touch panel, and this basically is like a complete digital recording kit. Excuse me. So there's a microphone. Here's your interface. There's a phone connected to it, and you've got an input, and this is the input of the mic, and this little output here is the output going to the headphones. Here is the Shure MVL. Now this is actually part of the same family, but it's slightly different. It's a high quality lapel. Okay, so suitable for speech applications in order to get the best quality audio. Again, compatible with smartphones, PC, and Mac, or wherever you can, plug in this TRRS connector. Obviously, no drivers required. Excuse me. You can seamlessly integrate it with your AV applications, and again, a quick setup and plug and play kind of feature. So something like this, you see this guy over here. So if maybe one of those mics is a little too bulky and you want it to be a little more seamless, then you could go with a feature like this and actually plug it straight into the phone over here. Okay, and we'll also go through some of the applications that are there. So there is just an audio application in which you can tweak the audio parameters and you can record directly audio. And there's also a video application. In the video application, you can tweak the video, the settings of the video, you can tweak the settings of the audio, and you can actually record your video in that application. And then you kind of pull it out onto a editing software and do whatever edits and stuff that might be required. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to Barry. And yeah, over to you, Barry.
Thank you very much. So, as my colleague Fadi said in the slides here, all the features seems nice and sweet, but the joy is actually when you plug it in and you start hearing the sound of these devices and how flexible they can actually become in terms of the day-to-day usage of, let's say, a musician, a podcaster, a content creator, a vlogger. All these guys, they'd like their equipment to be straightforward, plug and play. And there's nothing like, just eliminating all of that, clutter of wire and where to put the power supply and where's that supposed to go. And some people even have a struggle with what is the right driver that runs in my system. So I was one of those people back in the days when I plugged my sound card and I was getting delays. I was wondering, how can I get a instant monitoring? And I started reading through and I understood that ASIO is the way out, or, audio units in terms of Mac, which actually Mac is more straightforward in terms of that. But in PC, you need to use an ASIO driver. But that itself is not very friendly for many people who got content and they only need to kind of go straightforward. The downside of this is that a lot of the existing content creators are using off-the-shelf microphones, or they use their devices as they are. And the issue is that the content that they create might have a good video but bad audio, or okay audio and okay video, but it's not up to the other people who have a bit more technical background. So the MOTIV products generally, in terms of usage, they are very, very easy to use. Now, luckily, I'll be able to share my screen, which will be remotely connected to my phone as well. So I'll be sharing my phone screen to you, and I'll be connecting devices here, and you'll be able to hear the sound of them one by one. So the first one we want to try is going to be the MV5, which is that nice tennis ball looking microphone. Physically, it's very easy to use. You can actually release the screw a little bit and then you'll be able to change the angle up or down. You can twist it whatever direction you like. It has a nice aluminium frame at the bottom, foam padding. So it sits really sturdy on the table. And now I'll get my phone. Oopsie. And so I'm using iPhone, so just a standard micro USB to lightning cable in my case. There is another version which will be micro USB to USB-C, for those who are using USB-C either on Android or on the later iPhone devices. So just plug it in. The devices all power from your phone. That's a good thing, which means you don't need an external power supply, you don't need an external battery, no charging required. But I strongly advise two things with your phone. Number one is put it on flight mode. You don't want those messages to come in and annoy your recording. And the other thing is, for those phones that are attached to your device, like the MV88 Plus one, and the MV88 generally, and the MV88 Plus, they are attached directly to your phone. So when your phone vibrates, your microphone obviously going to pick that up. Now, I have a 3.5mm jack, which is usually your headphone output, or when you're monitoring from your headphones. Now, in my case, I'm going to plug this, in which you guys can hear the sound of the microphone. So all I need to do is just plug the 3.5mm jack, and I'm going to open the application here. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen, which will be showing my phone screen as well. So here's the screen from my phone. So you can see it says mic setup, and you can see up here it says Shure MV5, which is that nice microphone that we talked about. And the sound of this will go through. Let me just double check on my mixer. Oopsie, one of my panels fell down. So I need to check on my mixer, my inputs. Okay, here we are. Okay. And on the top of that, there is a small volume, which actually increases or decreases the headphone output jack. So I'm gonna make sure it's maximized right now. Okay. So first I need to check the gain that is right. And I think the headphone jack I have is a bit big. Okay, here we go. Of course, you have presets that you can check directly. So if you don't want to go through the settings down here, all you need to do is either from the back of the mic, there's a button that you can scroll through the settings, or on the screen itself you can select. So let's say if I want to do speech, that is speech, or the puts a limiter, puts the compressor in the light mode. There is an equalizer as well, which I can actually change the tonality according to the room. And then that can work according to this. Like, so maybe this mic has a very tight output here. I cannot get my phone jack to go through properly. But generally, you can see the level while I'm tapping on the mic. Just the monitoring is not going through for this one particularly. This is, of course, the recording page where you can monitor and you can start the recording. And this is where you browse the recorded files that you have already. Now I'm going to move forward from this microphone up to the MV51. So the MV51, as you saw in the presentation, it has a universal mount on it as well. And the nice thing about this microphone, I think something that happens to many people, the moment you carry this microphone and you lift it up, you realize that it's really heavy. It's not like, it looks, like because it's silver, you might think it's made of plastic or something like this, but once you just lift it, you go like, wow, this is like, it feels like the real deal already. So same thing, it's the same application, by the way. Once you plug it in, the application would identify it. So this one is easier to plug in my phone jack, so you can already hear the audio from it. So I'm going to mute this microphone right now. Cool. So now it's the sound of the MV51. Now I'm going to do a few tweaks. Now, as Fali said before, is that the touch panel at on the microphone actually controls the app as well. So I can increase the gain right now. And that is the touch panel right now. This is my output. I'm reducing the gain. And now I'll go on the app. I'll go on my equalizer, just flatten it up. So now you can see that there's more low end. I'm increasing the low end right now. I'll reduce it a bit. Took a bit of the room noise, give it a bit of clarity on the top. That sounds good. Compressors on the hard, I can just keep it on the medium right now. And that's already good enough. So probably if you want to get a clearer sound, all you need to do is just mount this microphone on a scissor stand, just like the one here next to me. So let's say if this microphone becomes in that closer proximity, you can see that the clarity already got much better. So this is the sound of the MV51. Now, some people like to use the same platform, the same amount of controls, but take it to more freedom. And this is where the MVI is. The MVI is that lower part of the MV51. So I'm gonna just plug it in directly. Let me just go back to my mic here. Okay. So if you want to have a flexible input, so this is the MVI, the same touch panel at the bottom. It has an XLR and a phone jack input, so it's a combi input, and it allows you then to plug in any mic you wish. So
if you guys are able to hear me, it looks like we are facing some technical issues at the moment. Let's just give it a minute to see if it settles on its own. Please be on standby.
Sorry guys, yeah, I think we lost Barry there, yeah? Am I still audible?
It's Pali, I can see you.
Okay. So I think we lost Barry there for a minute, so no problem. We'll continue with the MV88. Barry's back. Yeah, network issues at this time of the evening with the whole world trying to connect. Anyways, I'll just continue with this, and then once Barry's done. Barry, you're back?
I was here, yeah. I don't know. Thought that my video was mute first, but I thought
no problem. Go ahead.
By the moderator. Okay. So
no, I think it was network. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think you were talking about the MV51, and we were checking it as well, so you can continue with this guy. That's where I lost your video.
Oh, okay. So currently I am actually. Let me just share my screen again. So, okay. So currently I'm sharing the screen of my phone, and I'm using the MVI actually with the Super 55. Just guys, can you confirm you're seeing my screen?
Yeah, we are, Barry, now. We're seeing your screen and we can hear you.
Hey, Fali, I think we continue with your session, and then once Barry's back, we'll continue with his part of the session.
Got it. Yeah, I think he's experiencing some network issues. Anyway, no problem. So let's continue with the MV88 Plus. So this is the mic that I have here. One thing I really like about this is, firstly, these are all the accessories that come with it. So if you can see my screen, so it's a nice Manfrotto little tripod stand, and to that you can connect this little phone adapter. So as I have it connected right now, in order to do this demo, and I hope I don't have any network issue, but basically what's happening is the phone is connected via this white USB cable, and I've actually taken the headphone out into a sound card, and that's coming into the webinar. That's what you're listening to. So now, what I will do is I'm going to just get back onto the phone, and I will start making a few changes, and then hopefully that will translate to you. The only thing which will not translate to you is the stereo field, because the webinar, streams in mono. But everything else, all the other settings should come to you very clearly. All right, so let's go. So first I'm going to use the thing, pick it up. All right, there we go. So this is what the app looks like. I'm currently using it on my S10 Plus. So there's the gain going up. There's the gain going down. So, set that gain. I think I had it somewhere around here. The various modes you can use the device, the DSP in. So there's a speech mode, there's a singing mode, there's an instrument mode. And the very nice thing is there's a mode that you would use in front of like a PA system. That actually drops the gain completely and makes some changes to the DSP just so that the mic does not distort when you use it that way. So currently I'm in the cardioid, monocardioid pattern. This is only picking up from the front. As I start moving to the side, you'll stop hearing me. So let's see. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, so typical cardioid pattern. Now I'm going to switch to the bidirectional. So if I talk in the center, you won't hear anything. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, so no audio. Hey, 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 hey. This is one side. Hey, 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 hey. This is the second side. So yeah, I've switched it back to cardioid. So this comes into handy when you're doing, stuff like a panel discussion, two people on opposite sides of a table. And that's where you'd set this mic up into bidirectional and use it that way. The last option, which I'm going to check for you right now, is the mid side. Okay. So like I described mid side earlier, mid side divides your audio into two parts. The first is the M, which is the mid, and that's everything that comes down the middle of the microphone. And the side is everything that comes from the actual sides. Okay. So I'm going to show you my screen, and if you can see that the first thing that's moving pretty loud, that's the mid. So that's everything that's coming from the center. And I'm talking into the center of the mic. And now when I talk from the side, you'll see the mid go down and the S go up. Hey, 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 check, check, hey, hey. Yeah, so that was mid side. So mid side is like great for recording ambience. It's outstanding. If you're doing like drum recordings, just like in a room and you just want to capture the natural sound of the drums, definitely do it on a device like this, because that quality of the recording will be outstanding. Now, other than this is you have things like pull it down slightly. Okay, you have things like the limiter. So I can turn a limiter on and off. Again, will come into very handy when you're outdoors recording a live band or stuff like that. The compressor. So at the moment, the compressor is set to off. I don't really need it, but now it's on light. Now it's on medium, and you'll find that with the increase in compressor, there's an increase in the volume as well. But the reason for that is it is auto making up gain. As you know, when you use a compressor, yes, you will compress, but then you should also be using gain to make up whatever gain you're losing. So as I keep increasing it, now it's on light, now it's on medium, and now it's on heavy. So under heavy compression, if I keep going back, you'll still hear me pretty loudly. So check, 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 check. So the volume is not changed that much under the heavy compression setting. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. And now finally, I'll demonstrate the use of the high pass filter, specifically with wind noise when you're outdoors. So I'm gonna just create some pops kind of sound, popping kind of sound, and we'll see what that does to the microphone. So right now I'm at 150 Hertz high pass. So listen to this. And now I'm going to pull it down to, I'm going to turn off the high pass. Yes, you'll hear a little more bass in my voice, which might be great if you're just doing voiceovers, then it's outstanding. But now you'll start hearing this. Yeah. So that's typically how I've got the high pass back up to 150 Hertz. And then finally the 5-band, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Yeah, with the 5-band graphic equalizer. So typically in this, if you want to say leave the high pass at around 75 Hertz, so you get a little bass. And then you can make a little change. There's 100, 250 Hertz, 1K, 4K, and 10K. So I can drop the 100 a little bit, maybe drop the 250 just a little bit to clean up the mid-range, just a notch. And maybe I can add a little bit of 4K to make it really nice and crisp, almost like a radio station host. That's a little too much, I think. Like a little radio station host. So 4K and 10K are bumped up a little bit just to bring more crispness and clarity to the voice. Other than that, the other things are that you can obviously record your stuff and save them. One of the other apps that are there is the video recording app. So let's go and check that out. So I'm just going to show it to you real quick. That's actually me coming back through the phone. And you get some settings at the bottom which can set your frame rate, your resolution, and I think that will be dependent on the device or the phone that you're using. So frame rate, resolution, the actual frame of capture. What else? You have sample rate, so 48 and 44, and in what format you want to capture the audio. And basically you can make those same audio changes from the audio app also in this. You make the changes, record, and then you pull the recording off once you're done, and you get it into an editing software and edit. So that's the video recording app. And the thing to remember is that the onboard DSP, once you make any of these changes to the DSP using your device, those changes are saved on the device. So you can just go then connecting it from machine to machine and you're pretty much good to go. The only change would be, say, if you move from a one-on-one conversation kind of situation to an outdoor concert recording. That's when you'd have to get back into the DSP and make the little adjustment. Yep, that's it from me. Is Barry back on? Or should we roll with questions?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here. The connection doesn't seem to be very strong. I'm even losing your video sometimes.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, I'm here. So I will not use my video just to keep the connection good. So are we still here?
Yes, Barry.
Okay. So because I was disconnected, what do you like me to demo right now?
Why don't you go with the MVI and the Super 55?
Okay. I'll reconnect those again. I'll not use my screen anymore as well to kind of maintain the bandwidth. Sorry.
Yeah, you can just turn on your video and then we can see you.
Okay, I'll turn the video on. Here we go. Cool. I'll reconnect that again. So just plug in this into my phone. And the headphone jack is ready. There we go. Here's the 55. Probably can hear it already. So I'm gonna switch off my other microphone so there will be no interference between the both of them. So this is the 55 currently with the MVI. And I'm kind of putting it on high gain mode because the 55 doesn't have a transformer inside, so it requires a decent amount of gain to drive it. The 55 is a very interesting mic, by the way. Just a side note, it's a good crossover between a studio microphone and a live microphone. It's kind of a very versatile microphone, kind of like the SM7B is in some ways. So it's an interesting mic to be used in also podcasting, in addition to the SM7B, of course. Even right now, for example, I can just pick up my guitar and see if the 55 can work as an instrument mic. I think it does. Sounds good to you, Fally?
Yeah. Sounds all right. That's the webinar clamping down on. So for everyone's information, webinars have their own form of noise cancelling. So within about 5 or 6 seconds, then the webinar's codec basically clamps down on whatever you do. So yeah, but the first bit sounded fine.
I think we have lost Barry again.
Yeah. Anyways, no problem. I think we're running. We're okay. I think we'll take it to some questions. You guys should be able to see my screen now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, let's take it to some Q&A.
Yeah, so as of now, not many questions, or actually no questions for today's session. That's the first.
I think
not sure if it is.
must be a little new to a lot of people over here. But yeah, in case you guys come up with any questions, you're most welcome to type them in. Or if you think of them a little later, you can actually email us on this email ID, and we can respond to your india@shure.com is the ID. Send us your questions that you might have there, and we can respond to them as soon as we can.
Right. And since we have 15 minutes in hand, I just wanted to try out one thing. We have a way to interact live in this session if you are shy to type, or you don't want to type. So I'm just going to try that out and see if we can invite you guys to interact us, interact with us. Yeah. So sending that out, and you will get an option to raise a hand. You'll see a hand icon somewhere on the right hand side of the screen if you're on a laptop, and I think somewhere you'll see that option. Meanwhile, I do have one question from Mr. Andy Chakraborty. He is asking, you mentioned there is a save audio feature with the interface of the MV51. Right. Is that feature not included for the MV5?
No, the thing is, the features are all standard because the features come with the software. What changes is the microphone that you use. So you get the features with, everything that I described, most of what I described, you get with the software. So for example, just things like, say, if you're using I'll turn on my video again so you can see. Just in case, if I'm using this MV88 Plus, now because it's a stereo capsule, I won't get an option of, say, bidirectional when I use the MV5 or the MV51. So it's just minor things like that. But otherwise, the software stays the same. So the recording, the pulling out of the recording, the gain and the DSP settings and all that are all the same. You'll have access to all of that. There's no change there.
Cool. So the next question is from Mr. Christopher Lawrence. He asks, which of the MOTIV models would you recommend for acoustic guitar and vocals?
Oh, the MV51, no question about it. It's a large diaphragm condenser, so it does sound great with vocals, but it also does sound excellent with instruments, so acoustic guitar, percussion, um, I mean all that kind of stuff. So MV51 definitely. The only thing I would say is, if you want to get, and specifically with a guitar, if you want to capture stereo-ish kind of ambience, say if you're playing in a room that has a little ambience and you want to capture that ambience as part of your recording, then the MV88 Plus, the one that I'm using here, is the one to use, because you can get that stereo width, and the good thing is you can also control that stereo width. So I would say the MV88 Plus would be my option. Either the MV88 Plus or the MV51. I'd go with one of these.
Right. So next is I'm clubbing two questions together from two different gentlemen, but they are related. Mr. Hassan and Mr. Ghulam Muhammad Adnan. The question is, can we compare between the MV51 with SM57 or C8 with an audio unit to do live webinars?
Yeah, I'd love to do that if Barry was back online, because Barry's got all the kit with him to do those comparisons. But I believe he's got a 51 and the 57 and 58 as well. So we'll keep chatting here. If Barry comes back online, then we'll get him to swap out his uses MV. He'll have to use his MVI with the 57 going into that, and then he'll have to compare that with the MV51. So we'll hang on till he gets back. As you can notice, he's having some network issues today. And same question as Hassan, with regarding to the SM58, Barry's the one that can demo that for you at the moment. I only have the MV88 Plus series with me. And I should also mention one more thing is the excuse me, the MV88 Plus. You also get it as the MV88, and that one comes like just with a lightning connector, so you can connect it straight into your iPhone. But the only thing with that is it does not come with the stand and with the phone clamp and stuff like that. So the Manfrotto stand, that's this guy, doesn't come with this stand. So that's another option. You can get the mic also like that, but I mean, for the kind of work relating to these kind of recordings, I think it just makes sense to buy or to get the thing with the stand and accessories and stuff also.
Okay, so this is our last question as of now, and it's pretty interesting. A lot of people would be interested to know this. Mr. Harshdeep is asking, which one is Barry's default mic, which he's using in his session?
What he was using in this session, I think that's a KSM 42, if I'm not mistaken. But he switches between a SM7B, and I think he's got so many mics that every time I speak to him online, he's got a different mic. The KSM 32 very often he's using. SM27, I think it's a Beta 27 he uses quite often also. So
yeah, I think it is. I guess it is about what he was using now. I think it was a KSM. Which model exactly it was, but
KSM 42. If you can hear me.
42, right?
Yeah, Barry's back.
Yes. Yeah. I keep losing the connection for some reason, so hopefully I'll be able to carry through. Currently, I have an SM58 connected to the MVI.
Oh, lovely. So let's do that then.
Let's do that quickly before you lose you again.
Yeah. So that's the SM58 right now through the MVI, and I have a little bit of EQ on it, but now this is the flat SM58 currently on the MVI. Gain is slightly backed up compared to the 55, of course, because this one has a hotter output compared to the. Usually with the SM58, you need to reduce kind of a little bit touch on the highs. Now that sounds a bit brighter. Something like this, maybe it will sound. So, you guys still hear me, right? Is that good?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is the difference? All you need to do is just.
I think we are.
So that is an SM57 right now. So if people want to do an SM57 on a, that is how it's going to sound like.
Yes, Barry, are you with us?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've lost Barry again.
Okay, so let's look at the
Yeah,
another question quickly
yeah.
till he comes
Cool,
back.
cool. Not a problem.
So Mr. Andy Chakrabarti again is asking, would any of the MOTIV series be well suited for use with a vocal loop pedal for more intimate live gigs? The first time a question, so
Okay. Let me just read that once more. Would any of the MOTIV series be well suited for use with a vocal loop pedal for more intimate live gigs? Do you want to give Andy access to the microphone so he can speak and just explain that a little more? I kind of get what he's saying, but if he can just explain it a little more, that would be great.
let me see if I can do that for him. Invite to interact live. So Andy gets to speak, I guess.
Andy, you want to check your mic and speak to us?
We'll give him a few seconds.
Yeah. Anyways, if you ask me, it can be used because technically you can take the headphone out into like a looper. So technically it can be done. Where you would get, let me just think about this. Yeah, it can be done. In fact, all you need to do is basically, if you need to make changes to the microphone, obviously you'll have to connect your USB cable into the into your software to make those changes. But yeah, you can definitely take the headphone out into like a looper pedal. I've personally not tried it before, but I'm quite sure if that's something you'd like us to try, I can definitely try something like that. I don't have a looper pedal, but I have a few guitar pedals lying around, so I could do that at some point.
All right, thank you so much. I just need to get some clarity on that, whether or not that would work theoretically.
Okay. Yep.
Cool.
It should work. Should not be a problem. Should
All
not
right,
be a problem.
thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. What else do we have? What other questions do we have? I see two more between the MV51 and the MV88. Which one do you all recommend for live broadcasts? Mate, honestly, you can use either of them. It entirely depends if you want the option of having a stereo feed. I think that's the biggest differentiator between the, in my opinion, between the 51 and the 88. So the MV88, you can have like, people sitting opposite to each other and conversing, whereas it would be a little difficult doing that with an MV51. So I think it'll entirely come down to the application. If it's strictly mono and strictly, yeah, it's a tricky one. I would say either of the two, honestly. Both will sound
Also on the mobility
fantastic.
part, the MV88 would be more mobile.
On the mobility, yeah. If you want to take it outdoors and shoot from your camera and stuff like that, then obviously the MV88. If it's just shooting from like a small home broadcast studio room kind of thing, then the MV51. But then again, you might as well just do the MV88 because you can then use it both indoors and you can take it outdoors, to record events and whatnot. So it's more, it will be a little more, the MV88 Plus, it will be a little more portable, I would feel. Okay. What else do we have, Devraj? Any more questions?
Yeah, with one question directly to you, Fali. Which mic would you prefer when it comes to this type of situations? Not just from the MOTIV series, but the whole Shure catalog. Basically,
Oh
what's
my
your favorite
gosh.
mic?
I think the favorite option would be to go and stay in Barry's house for a few days because he's got everything. But yeah, I mean, I've heard him try a lot of them when we do these online chats, and I still, to an extent, from the catalog, come back to the SM7B. There's just something of the SM7B, the even what he's got now, the KSM42. I come back to these two mics very, very regularly. There's just something about them. And yeah, not to, sorry, I'm not using this guy today, but the KSM 353.
Yeah.
That's the premium ribbon microphone. I mean, that is literally just something else. So yeah, for me, I would say the 353, the 313, SM7B, the KSM, 42, 44. All you can't go wrong with any of this stuff. But I think it's just from a point of view of doing something small and stuff like this. I think nothing really comes close to this tiny little MV88 Plus, and I think it sounds just fabulous.
Since I think that's all for Q&A as of now.
Okay.
Barry, any final thoughts from your side before we close?
Nothing from my side. No. Unfortunately, the network is not giving us a good evening. So
We'll plan something again with Barry, because I know a lot of people have been asking me about we had done something with demoing mics a little while back, and there were a lot of people that wanted to start doing that again. So it's definitely something we will plan out and host it sometime in the afternoon where the network situation should be a little better.
Yes, obviously. So what I was planning to do, a live Instagram in the evening today. So I will try to redo the same thing and probably demo all the MOTIV products and switch between them, play the acoustic guitar on a few of them as well. So whoever's interested, you can reach out to Fali, and Fali would definitely link you through. I think this might compensate a bit for the losses that we had today. And build up all these questions. Me and Fali are more than ready to test anything you wish. I mean, sky's the limit. As you said before, we have all the toys, and just let us know.
We don't have all the toys, Barry. Barry, you've got all the toys. I've got one or two.
Okay, I have all the toys. Then he doesn't.
All right, cool. So yeah, guys, Dave, you want to inform everyone about Chai Pe Charcha?
Yes. So guys, when with our past webinars, especially the ones that we have been doing in Hindi and some of the ones that we've been doing in English, we got some feedback that people would like to connect with us. Sometimes in Hindi as well. Sometimes we see that there is a bit of a challenge in terms of interacting with this webinar interface. So what we thought of is that we'll try to make a very casual, unofficial kind of a session for all of you, people in the community who want to just get away from that typical topic-related thing and then get used to this tool, so that the technology goes away, that mental block goes away, and then the language is not a challenge. And then we are able to kind of start that interaction virtually. So for that, we kind of came up with this idea of this Chai Pe Charcha, which we are scheduled for tomorrow. And so that's what is tomorrow, 22nd of April, afternoon 3 to 4. So if you or any of your colleagues, your friends are interested to connect with us there, please feel free to register for this event. You should have received that message somewhere in your webinar window right now. I hope it should be in the some message from the moderator. I just sent that registration link to you guys. Or you will also see this in our Fali would be sharing this in his social media platforms as well. So to join us tomorrow, get a cup of tea, or coffee, whichever you prefer, your preferred beverage. Spend 1 hour with us. It's just a simple, casual chat session, which will probably help us, help us create some content which is more connected for you based on what you want to hear from us, what you want to learn from us. So that is Chai Pe Charcha, tomorrow 3 to 4.
All right. And yeah, we hope to see a lot of you there tomorrow. This is the Shure South Asia Talent Learning Portal. Let me just put it that way. So I'll leave it here for a few seconds if you guys just want to take this link. So various courses y'all can attend and get certifications for them. And I believe since this this session was done along with our partners in the Middle East and Africa, here's the link for the Middle East and Africa. Yeah, so just depending on your region, if you're from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, etc., you can log into the first one, and if you're from the Middle East, Africa, log into this second one, what's on your screen right now. This is where you can get information on Shure Global webinars, what's happening, what's going to happen, what's happened previously. The recordings get posted here. So I know it's a big address to remember. If you just type Shure webinars in Google, this should come up. Page should come up. And yeah, thank you very much. I want to thank Barry and Dave for moderating this session, and we hope to see you all very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good evening and stay safe.